Hello everyone, thanks for joining this session on the ClickFix. So myself is Prashant Tilekar. I'm working in Forescout technology. So I have been learning more than 10 years in the cybersecurity and especially threat hunting, detection and threat analysis. So today we will see on the how the ClickFix lure in the ecosystem. With that, this is just like a disclaimer that this is my own research and no Forescout will be liable or any consequences that will occur or might occur. Okay, so this is the agenda for today. We will go through each point and deliver as per the flow. Yeah, so this is the flow chart, or you can say the rise of ClickFix. So ClickFix is the most prominent social engineering tactics in 2025 by exploring is like urgency, software updates, or the verification. So over the past 2 years, we have been seeing that like clear shift with the social engineering techniques, lies unlikely the traditional social engineering techniques. So those are like phishing, and they rely on multiple steps. But in the ClickFix, you will see like just one instruction, and you can get downloaded malware and execute it within that single instance. So that's how the like ClickFix comes into the picture. Um, it focused on the getting users to perform like single seamless safe actions, and with that action they just like copy prompt or command and clicking into a link that fix the issue. So with that, like this campaign started out with the ClickFix using fake IT support emails and urgency with the business. So this was like first seen in 2024, first phase of Q1, and it start with the design that like to trick a user, but quickly adopting the organization that improves their defenses. Then it moves to the next stage, that is like QR code and localizing language variant. So the QR code was the next stage where they are using the QR code sending with the with the message or emails, and for the localization language. So the threat actors want to expand the language barrier without any click fix for the instructions. With the rise of that, like attacker using GenAI topics and deepfake voices to send the messages. Why it be spreading globally and often combining with the business email compromisation and that along with the click failures. So with that, like next is like we found that like hybrid threat emerging with some of the account suspension emails that needs like quick attention, and that was the one of the threat like seen in the hybrid. Then with that, like security campaigns emphasize and reporting there is suspicious emails like ongoing activity and mitigate that. And as ClickFit is also like continuing it's like adapting nature. Now it's leveraging new technologies like chatbot that are based on AI, and that they are like highlighting that the need of the defenders to stay alert. Okay. So we'll see like attack surface. So the attackers are heavily leveraging fake CAPTCHA or CAPTCHA impersonate page for as a social engineering technique, and especially in the campaigns like the ClickFix, these deceptive pages take advantage of trust of the users they have in the CAPTCHA. So so you can see the like instructions where just like the put the instruction Windows key, press key, and like R button, then just to have paste, and after that like just enter to a enter button. So with that, like they can lure into the like victim machine. So by closely like imitating the family with the reCAPTCHA design workflow, attacker effectively lower the user intentions, and it also create the opportunity for like credential phishing, credential theft, phishing, and the malware delivery. So victim often like encounter these pages because they clicking on the malicious link and through online ads, believing that they are like just to have simply verify their activity. But in reality, these fake captcha may trick user into like entering sensitive information, which are like enable harmless scripts to execute unknowingly. So another is like impersonating the trusted band. So sometimes the ClickFix not limited to the entering on the web pages, but they are entering into the document as well. So they are using documents with the instructions as well, and they have given the prompt to the clipboard. In the they design emails, website, and the messages closely replicate of the what appearance in the tone of the well organizations like major IT companies or the financial institutes or the corporate. They're trying to convince that users for this communication and legitimate. So what is the clipboard basically based payload? So the clipboard based payload delivery is like modern engineering technique which come under the like initial attack vector. So where attacker is like leveraging system clipboard to deliver malicious code or the command. So instead of requiring users to download file or entering information into phishing forums, the attacker crafts scenario where user is just tricked into a copying and pasting the command. So the code is used like programmatically, set the clipboard contents using the context data, using the text data, selective the content, and then executing with the copy command. So when user interacted with these pages, they may unlikely copy and later paste. They fall into the like malicious command. So they have like injected through three regions like malicious website where the fake captcha error pages pop-ups or other familiar web elements as well. Then compromised documents or files which has like legitimate logo and signs of the unknown companies and application with the clipboard access like the apps that can programmatically run a clipboard's contents without user acknowledgement. So why does the attacker use this technique? So first is like evasion. So by using this technique, they can bypass download and attachment scanning as they know file is like directly transfer. The next is like trust and abuse. They use like they get trust using the copy paste command and the instruction from the like forums. So for the like just to have verify, they are fall into the this case. Then simplicity. So single action by user, just like copy paste and run, can lead full compromise. And the obfuscation. So this code, this can be like code on the display may differ from the like code actually copied on the clipboard. So we will see like the attack sequence. So first is flow with the like social engineering setup. So attacker post a like solution on the website, forum or email, including like copy to this command, verify this user, verify you are not a robot, or code or the buttons. So then once it's done, then it's come with the clipboard manipulation where the JavaScript or HTML file or HTML code or the other code, other scripts code that are used to copy or copy a hidden or different payload to the clipboard. Sometimes that we shown that user is benign, but clipboard contains like malicious instruction at the page level as well. So once clipboard is manipulated, then user has to action. So user just like paste the clipboard content into the terminal or the PowerShell or the run dialog box, and often with the like evaluated privileges. At the last time for the execution, they just like pasted the command and download and execute the established persistent mechanism can steal the credential and perform the malicious contents. So let's discuss on the the obfuscation techniques. So one of the common technique that we have seen is obfuscation technique is base64 encoded. So this method is involved by converting malicious script commands or binary into base64 code. So essentially, they want to just attacker want to just highlight or like unhide the detection mechanism. They are using the template where they just given the command and instructions, and whatever the base64 data they are putting there. Second is like variable splitting, so which is like frequently used by the attacker. So in this approach, malicious commands or payload isn't stored in the single statement or the clear string in the script. Instead, it's broken into like multiple fragments, and each assigned as a separate approach, separate variables. And at the runtime, these fragments are concentrated and often used by operators like plus in PowerShell or and in a shell script to reconstruct the full command will be before the execution. Then some of the like polyglot scripts. So this is like advanced obfuscation method increasingly used by the attacker. The polyglot scripts are crafted so that their payload can be executed by multiple interpreter. For example, a single script can run on seamlessly on CMD, curl, bash, or the scripts like JavaScript or PowerShell. This cross-platform compatibility give the great expand to the attackers to reach and enable malicious code that can operate different operating systems. So attacker has this favor of polyglot because they can bypass platform specific security controls, and they can ensure about the malware run regardless of the interpreter. So another is like environment check. So malicious code is like actively inspecting with the system. It has been like gathering information or about what's the operating system running, what's the running processes, and what's the software involved. They want to determine if the environment is matched with the real target or not. So instead of that, if they found the sandbox, honeypot, or analyst machine, they just like broke their execution process, and they don't want to rely their code with the analyst or the like sandboxes. So this approach makes like static and dynamic analysis more challenging for defenders, as this malware is selectively activates only for the genuine machines and the environments. Now we will see like lol beans, so leaving up the lines abuse. So attacker leveraging the trusted and built-in system binaries to carry out like malicious actions. So on Windows, one of the most common abuse binaries is certutil.exe, which is originally designed to manage like certificates. So attacker exploiting this certutil to download some of the payloads directly from the URL, or can pass with the parameters as well. The another is like another tool, lolbin tools are like mshta.exe, msexec.exe. These are like frequently leverages sophisticated attack chains. These tools are also like inbuilt Windows machines, and for example, here you can see like mshta is downloading HTA file script with the command to run parameter, and msexec.exe is downloading the MSI file. Now the turn is like especially for the PowerShell and command cmd.exe. So they are in the combination. So when they are in the combination, they are like more trustworthy for the security perspective. So in this case specifically, the PowerShell and CMD are combiningly work, and attacker use them as a execute malicious payload in a way that they blends into a legitimate activity and making detection much harder. Now we will see the macOS and Linux systems load bins. So the attacker is frequently using trusted and pre-installed command line utilities such as curl, wget as a living of the line binaries to fetch remote payloads. So these tools are designed for legitimate operations like downloading files and transferring data by the administration or scripts. So another is OS script. So OS script is like living of the land to execute malicious Apple script payloads. So OS script is built-in command line utility that is allowed users to script to run Apple script or JavaScript for automation Ajax direct from the terminal, because it's legitimate tool that can be commonly used by the system management. Now we'll see the example for cross-platform. We'll starting with the Windows. So in this scenario, the user lands on the malicious verification page and typically labeled as verify you are human. And the page provides the instruction, follow the instruction that appears to be legitimate, but user follows them and they are just prompted to copy and paste command into their run. So what happened next is, crucial. So when the command pasted by the user is not a simple, it's like instruction display on the page, but it is a command which can multiple level obfuscated payload, PowerShell payload. So this PowerShell payload is decoded and executed, ultimately landing the malware development. So by analyzing this compromised website, we observe that how the clipboard weaponization occurs. So the malicious code injected into the clipboard often includes not just a payload, but it also indicates command and control network, such as telecom bot, telecom chats. So those are used to exploitate and for the attacker communication. So upon execution, the initial command typically downloads a batch file, that a.cmd as a first stage. This batch file then triggers a second batch file, which is another layer encoded PowerShell, which further downloads and executes actual malware. So we identify as a QSRAT. This is how the multi-stage approach, leveraging trustworthy system utility and clipboard manipulation that allows attackers to evade the detection and successfully compromise the target user. Now let's look for the another example scenario where macOS device. Here the user landed with the verification page with the same commands instructions, step-by-step instruction mentioned, such as verify you are human. When user is follow this instruction, they are prompted to be copy command into a terminal. Upon pasting the command, so typically shows that benign looking output, ecosystem. So however, embedded within the obfuscated parameter. So in this case, base64 encoded data observed. When we decode this data, reveals hidden instructions, a curl command containing the URL, and this attacker mechanism to deliver the next stage of the payload. The curl command, which quietly download a script, often a OS script file, which is then executed or run a malicious Apple script payload. This payload is might automate system interactions and multiple files, establish the persistent mechanism, all the while leveraging the trust and system utilities. Now, in this scenario, the malicious code includes well-known Apple script dialog design to capture a user's password, that exploiting the look like a familiar with the macOS authentication prompt, but the credential harvesting methods is often used because it can be it can bypass user impressions. Additionally, the malware exhibits the data harvesting behavior by scanning its user desktop, document data, the sensitive file extensions like the text, PDF, wallet, key. These files have like often valuable information and ranging from like personal notes to credential cryptography wallet keys. Upon analyzing, we see these activities belong to Odyssey Stealer activity. So it is like persistent, we observe persistent code as well. So persistent code via launch daemons. So this code use sudo to copy starter script into a library launch daemon code. This is like privileged location where macOS stored a system-wide background files and services. Another is like shell script execution. So with the output of redirection. So this do shell script a non-half and the location is null. It's running as background and redirected the outputs. Some of the like obfuscated programs. So user, the variable being set for the system attribution such as like user and encoded its value like VIPX, IP addresses and the Boolean flags. So this enables dynamic target and flexible payload delivery. It indicates remote code communication as well because hard-coded IP is configured to communicate with the remote servers, and that can be a like exfiltration and further command execution activity. So this is all about like wallet information about the browsers, the wallet informations. This is all about like macOS example. So Linux and Mac is kind of similar sample we found. So we skip for Linux right now, but in the paper we will share the Linux as well. Now we will see like threat actor distribution. So we observe like notable overlap with tactics and techniques about the associated state-aligned threat group actors. So many of the threat actors have leverages these ClickFix techniques. For example, certain code structures or like indicator from like APT26 or 28, or some of the PowerShell script that is from like muddy waters, some of the methods in the PIMC. So we have like categorized with the malware threat families. So these are for the Windows. These are the like macOS and the Linux one. So in this campaign, the evasion techniques and anti-analysis techniques observed. Every campaign has like different anti-evasion techniques. So we'll start. It begins with like VM and sandbox evasion techniques. So they check the sandbox environment. If exits, it's found. Then it will start with anti-debugging techniques, which detects like debugger or alternate behavior about the reverse engineering tools. Then delay in the execution, they use some sleep mechanism or delay payload delivery mechanism, automated security scan to bypass those things. Then code lolbean, we have seen the examples for the lolbean usages. Then code obfuscation, they have like using like static handler to code obfuscation. Then process injection, like trustworthy processes further injected code. And finally, the network evasion. The most is like, they use like DJ algorithm to avoid network-based detection. So Defender need to be like layered. So with that detection strategy, I have like crafted few of the detection strategy with more layered approach. First is like, we need to identify like clipboard anomaly monitoring. We track high and large entropy strings entering in the terminal session directly from after the file copy action from the browser. Some of the EDR can approximately key this as a key wallet or paste every time. Then lolbean sequencing. So we need to create analytics for lolbean, PowerShell, with the parameters like no profile, hidden, PowerShell, to retrieve immediately network connections, and with the child processes, and we are seeing the base64 encoded as well. So we need to temporarily linkage the copy from the browser and then process execution. So we identify that like shell process spawning within like 30 seconds of the when the user is copying content from the domain. So whenever there is new registered domain within the 24 hours, we found this follow that like shell spawning within 30 second layer of the copy content. So with that, like we use the temporary linkage. Further is that like network heuristic. So we need to see like cluster, like who are the short-lived domains, exhibited identical patterns like API v2, then pre-enrich future connections like higher suspension score, and to finally reduce noise by building like sanction list. So whatever the known scripts and vendors used, that can be excluded to avoid noise. So these are the infrastructure and situ analysis. So domain instructions. So rapid domain churn. So we need to use like short lived, like often less time domains within the week, and that will be like evade the block list. They use like the domains which are used frequently, like fix, patch, update, verify, and CDN. Registration pattern. So they use like privacy and protecting registers. And then whose detail is like oftenly masked, or they use like fake identities. Then TLS certification, like automated via fake let's encrypt. So they are encrypted with automatically and enabling quick and cost-free setup for HTTPS, and roasting and imaging the tactics. Now the command control. So the backend traffic is like C2 communication are typically compact using JSON format with the post or get queries. They have like hidden often like hardware ID, built-in version, then time zone offsets. Also traffic is designed to appear the benign and minimizing the content and mimicking the legitimate with the frequent requests. C2 endpoints, the endpoints are used to patterns like API fix, updates, patch, verify, and some endpoints rotate or are they abandoned when they detected. So these are the recommendations like the application and system level. So restrict execution and non-approval scripts binary for this. Disable and restrict lol beans. Those are not used. Enforce strong browser security settings. Then endpoints and network controls. Deploy XDR, EDR, and behavior detections. Also like monitors the process trees. Also like network controls. Also for the privilege and persistent management, limit admin access rights, monitor and restrict persistent mechanisms, alert on the creation and modification. With that, like I'll conclude session here that ClickFix now shows like how attacker extremely social engineering, making it easier for users to fall in the quick copy-paste scam across all the platforms. So Defender needs to boost visibility everywhere and encourage users to pause before pasting anything. Thanks. Any question?